Hey guys, welcome back to another video for Broncos Country News. Here I'm going to do two videos on the 2020 outlook on the offense and on the defense. I'm evaluating the offense first because I feel like we need to go over that more. These are just going to be little analysis videos discussing what various parts of our offense need to do to have success this season and finally get this Broncos offense back up and running. So without further ado, here is Broncos Country News. Now, if you've been paying attention to Bronco football over the last 5 years, we have had a very dreadful offense, if I'm going to be completely honest here. Our offense has been from average to dreadful because for some reason, there have been times where we can push the ball down the field, we can move the ball, we can even chew up some clock, we can make some plays, but we can never seem to get the ball in the end zone. There are some offenses in the league where it's not necessary, but if they need to, they can put up 40, 50 points to win a game if it's necessary. Look at the Chiefs, for example. They've been able to put up 40, 50 points a game when their defense has faltered. We cannot do that. If our defense cannot hold an opponent to under 30 points, cannot hold an opponent to under 27 points, we're not going to win that ball game because our offense has just been completely awful. Now, that could be for a variety of reasons. That could be from scheming to the quarterback. That could be to various positions being weaknesses. Honestly, it's a mix of all of them. So, I'm going to do a tiny bit of a history lesson. In 2015, our offense really showed signs of not being what they used to be. Because remember, from 2012, 2014 to 2012, 2013, 2014, we had the most explosive offense in football. Peyton Manning was setting records, passing offense was lighting the league on fire, rushing game was a great complimentary. We had the best offense in football. In 2013, we had the #1 ranked offense in football with Peyton winning an MVP. Now, 2014 still had a good offense. 2015, huge drop in that. But I could at least argue we made good complementary offense. We at least were able to keep the ball for a good amount of length and time and still get some points out of it and keep our defense off the field long enough so they weren't completely gassed by the fourth quarter and it won us a Super Bowl. But that has not been the case the last 4 seasons. And of course, we have to go through the plethora of quarterbacks that have failed. Simeon, Osweiler, Lynch. The quarterback carousel that took place 2016-2017, not exactly good for this team. The thing I have with Trevor Simeon is that he never had the confidence to be the quarterback. And he lacked a strong arm. The dude just could not stretch the field. Whenever he tried, he overthrew it like crazy. He made smarter decisions than, say, Paxton or Brock Osweiler, but he just never had the confidence to be our quarterback. He always just seemed lost. He always seemed very kind of on edge, if you know what I mean. He just never seemed like he had that attitude of, this is my offense, this is my team. He never had that about him. Same with Paxton Lynch. He was just lost. He looked very unready for the NFL. You could tell in his footwork, he'd get happy feet. He was just, he never looked ready to play in the NFL. Brock Osweiler, we all know about him. We know what he was. He goes to Bill O'Brien's system in Houston. Confidence is completely shot. And he was never the same. 2016, 2017, not going to lie, that was hard to watch. Because I could see where this team could be good, but things were just pretty bad for us. It didn't help that our offensive coordinators were not very good. Bill Musgrave was a terrible offensive coordinator. Mike McCoy was just bad. He was terrible. And, of course, we had Vance Joseph as a head coach, who was not very good. But our quarterback we had some minor issues, but it's not to say we didn't have talent on the offense. We did. We had talented players. We just never had anything that could really make it mesh, make it a cohesive unit. We were never able to do that, which is frustrating. But whatever. We live with that. And then we bring in Case Keenum, who I thought played better than Simeon Lynch and Osweiler, but even then, he still made too many bad throws. He would just he threw a pick in every single game through the first 10 games. You're not going to win that way. 18 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. That's not like god-awful numbers, but it's not good. It's meh numbers. That's like painfully average at best. And then Joe Flacco, no need to discuss what happened there. So, it appears that this time we finally have an offense, and we finally have a better offensive play caller. Keep in mind that we did have Rich Scangarello through all last season, but the big issue with his offense, too conservative. There would be times where we'd be able to stretch the field with a passing game, we're able to push the ball down the field, and then he just goes ultra conservative, run like crazy, toss, dive, short pass, when we should be able to stretch the field. So I know it's a little odd, but I actually agreed with them firing Scangarello after giving it more thought, but because, again, we needed a more aggressive offensive system. And I know Pat Shurmur didn't have a great tenure as head coach, either with the Browns or the Giants, but his offensive systems have had success in the NFL, and he's had quarterbacks that have looked good in the system. Again, some say some of the best stuff he put, not the best, but some of the best stuff he put was with Case Keenum in Minnesota, where he made Case Keenum look like a gunslinger for a year. And he made great use of the run game. And they had a plethora of stuff to use in Minnesota. They had Dalvin Cook, they had Latavius Murray, they had Kyle Rudolph, Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs. That's an arsenal right there. And now we have given him even more weapons here in Denver. We got Cortland Sutton, we got KJ Hamler, we got Jerry Jeudy, we got Melvin Gordon, we got Phillip Lindsay, you got Deshaun Hamilton, you got Noah Fant, you got now Albert Okwuegbunam, you got Deontay Spencer, you got Tim Patrick, and now, of course, you have Drew at quarterback. One thing the coaches say they admire about Drew Lock, and from what I've read, according to Pat Shurmur, Drew's been really good at picking up and learning the system and the playbook, which is great. You want that out of your quarterback. You want him knowing the system, knowing your playbook. And I think that this is going to be crucial in our next step. So I like that Drew is learning his time with the playbook. I can't wait for him to get some work in with our receivers and our line. I'm glad that Drew is taking his time learning our playbook. Now, this is just going to be looking at simple units of our offense and what they need to do for our offense to take a step forward next year and be competitive. So we're going to start interior out. Let's start with the big boys up front, offensive line. The key to success in the offense for any NFL team is your O-line. If you don't have a good front five, you're not going anywhere. Your tackles will let up a ton of pressure to the quarterback. Your guards won't open up any holes for the run game. If you don't have a good offensive line, you're going nowhere. And we've had average offensive lines. We've had good players on the O-line, but average O-lines as a whole. Now, I love the interior of our line. Our two guards, Glasgow, Reisner, solid. Love the interior line. Our center, Cushenberry, if he lives up to his billing, we got a great center for a while, guys. This is going to be a great interior line. And their run game blocking was impressive. Great pass blocking. So those front three, can't complain. Tackles is where our question marks come in. Now, at right tackle, we paid for Juwan James from the Dolphins. Whenever he played last year, he was pretty good. Unfortunately, he didn't play that much last year because he was hurt. And now, apparently his injury may have been worse than him and the Broncos are letting on. An article came out about that, so he has apparently made strides in coming back from that injury. I hope so, because we're going to need him if we're going to have any success next year to give us some front side protection from Drew. But we all know our big question is, of course, number 72. Now, we have had left tackle weaknesses ever since we lost Ryan Clady. And you need that blindside blocker, especially for a young quarterback. Just ask Baker Mayfield how he felt this past year when the Browns lost their best offensive lineman and he had Greg Robinson to protect him. I thought Garrett Bowles was okay his rookie year. When we drafted him in the first round, we all thought we had a great upgrade at left tackle. And I thought rookie year he did okay. He did better than our previous options. Sophomore year, not too much. He had too many holding calls. Some ways, I'm glad he would rather take a holding call than let our quarterback get killed. But there were so many holding calls where it would just kill all momentum. And it would ruin drives for us. And it happened a lot this year too. So many times I'd have a great play, and then we would hear
holding offense, number 72.
And it drove me insane. Now again, they declined his option, meaning this is his last year with us. Now, we brought in Mike Munchak, who was the offensive line coach for the Steelers. Best O-line unit for years in the football. Protecting Big Ben and open up holes for Le'Veon Bell. If Munchak has truly fixed Garrett Bowles, then fine, because he played okay in the back half of the season. I need that, though, for 16 games, guys. That's why I'm really holding out on Bowles. I need those 5 games where he played good. I need that for 16 games this next year. If Bowles can really hold it down and our tackles can lock it down, Locke will have great protection, open up holes for Lindsey and Gordon. Offense is going to be solid. So O-line is good, but they just need those 2 tackles to step up. They'll be great. They're reportedly allowing Elijah Wilkerson to compete with Bowles for the left tackle spot. I would prefer Wilkerson. I know he's kind of an average tackle. I prefer average to bad in my opinion because I think Bowles is a bad tackle. I think Wilkerson's average, but I think Wilkerson could take that step forward to becoming a good tackle. That's just my take. Now let's move on to our insane amount of weapons. Let's move on to wide receiver. In that receiving room, there is nothing but just a wealth of talent. Of course, you have Courtland Sutton, a 6'4" true #1 deep threat who can replace the likes of Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas. He can run up the numbers. He'll go up, make the tough, hard catches. The dude is just a flat-out beast, and he plays so hard, and he's been a true steal. Getting him in the second round, thank you everyone else who passed on him. Absolute steal. And now we're pairing him with Jerry Jeudy. I already went over him in my draft analysis, so I'm going to be brief on this one. But not only can he's not as big as Courtland, he's 6'1", but the benefit with Jeudy is not only can he run outside the numbers and be a deep threat, he can also be put in the slot and go between the hashes. He is known for excellent route running, and if you've seen some of his videos that he's posted, he's got a wicked first step. He's great on his cuts, which you need to gain that separation. KJ Hamler, of course, is going to be an excellent third receiver. Great return threat, incredibly wicked speed, and the dude will catch. He's an incredible athlete, which is what we need on this offense. We need an athlete who can just make some fast plays and just get us down the field, put us in better position. He is the kind of guy that he's a good stick chain mover. He's the guy that can move the chains and get you first downs. Sutton and Jeudy are your guys you're going to go to when not only do you need to get a first down, but like, hey, we just need a big play, go with those guys. And our tight ends, Noah Fant. He's not the best blocking tight end, but he's an incredible athlete. And it's clear that's what Denver wanted. We haven't had an incredibly athletic tight end in a good while here. We've had guys that can catch and run, but they're not like catch and then they can actually take the ball down the field like Noah Fant can. That's what Noah can do. He can really burst down the field. And then you got Albert Okwuegbunam, who's similar to Fant. Not a great blocker, great athlete. The dude can catch the ball. He can move it deep down the field. And that's exactly what you need at the tight end position. You need to be able to have 2 big guys who can move the chains and get the ball down the field, which is what we have right now. I think we have a great potential perennial Pro Bowler in Noah Fant, which excites me because I love that idea. And Okwuegbunam could be a good number 2. Now, I do think that, of course, there are some guys on the chopping block right now. You could point to Deshaun Hamilton, maybe Juwan Winfrey. You could point to Tim Patrick, Deontay Spencer, Jeff Hireman, Troy Fumagalli, Andrew Beck. And Elway has said they're going to have to compete for jobs. I think Deshaun has a good chance to keep his job, and I like Deshaun Hamilton. Maybe Patrick and Spencer as well. I don't know about Juwan Winfrey. I don't know about our tight ends. In my opinion, I would just kind of maybe cut our losses, maybe keep Hireman as just a blocking tight end, but we seem to have Van Nett, the free agent we picked up from the Steelers. We seem to have him for that, and just keep Okwuegbunam and Fant as your passing threats. But that's just my take. So now let's move to our bell cows, the running backs. The engine of the Broncos offense the last 3 years has been the run game. It used to be C.J. Anderson and Devontae Booker splitting the carries, but now it's been between Philip Lindsay and Royce Freeman. Freeman is a nice pound 5 yards kind of guy. The only issue is he's not as explosive. He doesn't burst through the holes like you would like him to, but he can pound you 5 yards. Explosiveness is where Lindsay comes in. The dude is just a workhorse. I love how he fights through the holes. He'll make holes where there are none. And the fact that he's averaged 2 back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons and the first rookie to go undrafted into the Pro Bowl in his first season, that's remarkable. I remember I'm a CU Buff fan watching Lindsay at Colorado. I thought he'd be a great NFL running back. Hearing he didn't go drafted, I was puzzled because I didn't know what to make of that. And then we drafted Royce Freeman, and Lindsay didn't like that, and you know the whole story. When we got Philip Lindsay, I was actually kind of psyched. I'm like, all right, that's a nice little good speed threat. And when he made the roster, I'm like, dang, undrafted, making the starting roster, and he started his first game. You can't. I mean, hey, you can't knock that. The dude's a hard worker, and he's been the bell cow of the offense for the last 2 seasons. I expect him to be this year. I expect him to get maybe 1,500 yards this year. I expect a 1,500-yard game from Lindsay, especially if the line improves. Gordon is the yin to Lindsay's yang. Gordon is just like Lindsay, but he can be a bit more of a power back. He can carry the load. He's definitely a bell cow. He could be a great receiving threat. I love Melvin Gordon's add to the offense. And hey, we're playing the Chargers twice a year, and he's going to be willing to show them up. Show them why they should have given him that contract extension. He didn't get as much coming here, but he came to a good roster. Thank you, Chargers, for that. Apparently, Royce Freeman is in the plans for the future of the Denver Broncos, and I hope that's the case because I like Royce Freeman. Maybe a good yard back, like when you need 2-3 yards or you need to get like a 3rd and 1 or something, just give it to Freeman. Let him just shove that big body through there. That's just it, though. Running backs, I have no complaints on the running backs at all, and I think they're going to be the engine of the offense as they have been for years. Now let's get to the most crucial position of our offense, quarterback. Quarterback has been our weakness the last 5 years. If you were talking about anything on the Denver Broncos as a weakness, it was, of course, quarterback. Everyone and their mother harped on how our weakness and what was holding us back was our lack of a truly established quarterback. And I already went through all our struggles with the previous quarterbacks, and now it appears we finally have one in Drew Lock. He is the key to success this year. If we're going anywhere, it's with Drew. Now, I will say this. Expect some mistakes. He is very young. He is still growing. He is still developing. Don't do what the Browns did with Baker Mayfield. Had a great finish, and he played great throughout those back half to close the season, and think, oh my God, he's going to be MVP. We're going to the Super Bowl. I mean, I know Colin Cowherd says he's a dark horse MVP. I say in context, they said he is the best chance to win an MVP in his second year because the past 2 quarterbacks who won were MVPs were in their second year, Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. So I don't expect Locke to win an MVP in his second season. I don't. I mean, if he did, that'd be like insane. Like if he threw for 4,800 yards and like 40 touchdowns, like that'd be crazy. But with Drew Lock, again, expect a few bad throws, expect some mistakes, expect good plays. Don't think Drew Lock's going to win MVP, and don't think he'll be John Elway in his league. Keep in mind, it took John Elway a little while to really come into his own. John said it took him, according to John Elway, he said his coming out party was the drive in the 1986 AFC Championship game against Cleveland. That was his 4th year in the league. It said it took him 4 years to truly establish himself and say, this is me. I'm here. So I'm not saying it's going to take Drew 4 years, but be patient. Expect some rookie mistakes. I don't expect him to be terrible. In fact, I expect him to be really good this year. I love his play style. He seems to adapt well to Shermer's system. And again, they comment on how much they appreciate him picking up the system and playing so well with it. but he is the key to success this year. It's in Drew Lock, as with any team. Your key to your success is your quarterback. You're only going as far as the QB can take you. And I think Shurmur's offense is going to work in terms of scheme. We have the weapons to do it. We just need the tackles and the quarterback to be the driving force. I see nothing but plus signs everywhere else. The only questions are left tackle, possibly right tackle, and I don't even have questions on the quarterback because I think Drew's a positive. Again, I'm expecting Drew to play well this year. I expect this offense to take a step forward. We're not going to be like the Chiefs or the Rams of 2018. Like we're not going to be that. But we are going to take a step forward where we say, hey, if we need to score 30, 40 points, we can do that. Maybe not like 5 times a game, but like, hey, twice a year, maybe the defense is just having a rough day. And we're saying, all right, we got to score 40. Offense, here you go. That's what we geared up for. We're basically telling Kansas City, all right, here we go. Race to 40, let's go. And if we can do that, we can be truly competitive in this division. Anyway, guys, that is it. That is my opinion on the 2020 AFC, on the 2020 Denver Broncos offense looking forward. Look forward to the defensive video coming out soon. And I do want to say this. I just looked at my hype video. I'm nearing 4,000 views. It may have reached by the time I get this video up. It's possible. But I went from 9 subscribers to like 52 in like a week and a half. That's insane. I want to thank you guys so much for sharing that video and liking the video and watching it and telling other people to like, thank you guys so much. You are the absolute best. I never thought I would make a video to get so many hits. I know it's only like 4,000, but that's still amazing to me that I made a video you guys like that much. Broncos country, thank you so much. You guys are truly the best fan base in football, and it's just another reason I love being a fan of this franchise. Anyways, that's it for me, guys. Share your thoughts of what you think this offense can do in the comments below. Be sure to continue liking and subscribing. Please keep this up, guys. It's June, but I can't wait for football season. It's only 3 months away. The way this year's going, 3 months seems like an eternity, but it'll be here before you know it. Anyways, that's it from me, guys. Love your Broncos country. Peace out.